Good evening guys, it's 6:53 p.m. It's April 25th. Today is Monday. I'm recording the video for Mbox, right? So as usual, the common drill is usual drill is you have to watch if you want to my regular video, right? Using the levels only, no Mboxwave right there, and then to understand the context and the importance of the levels, right? And then you can watch this Mbox video, Mboxwave video. So I'm not gonna walk you through all these things, but I will just scroll down, right? So you can read through it, pause and read through it, right? And then you can watch the other video to understand the context and all these things, right? So NQ, right? So if you notice, last 2-3 days I'm using that 5-minute chart instead of 1 minute, right? Because price is moving too fast, right? Too many points. So it's better to get a clear signal from 5 minutes than 1 minute. But you can use both, in combination. So of the open, right, in NQ, right? So 356. If you watch the other video, you know the 356 is important level, right? It's aggressive sellers area, which is this line, right? So right of the open, NQ was holding this area. This was a dream number 272, which is this area, right? This low, which is this area. Right, where it opened, right? So dream numbers, dotted line, powerful area, right? So it bounced from it, right? Went straight into this 356. So while this candle was running, I was watching it, and so it was hitting here 356. It tried to even go above, right? And then I saw these things 50 and this algo developing in real time, right? So now if you look at 270 here, 52 here, right? This double algo, all these things with X control dot, this buying coming, right? All this thing, it was pointing to the upside, correct? So, but when it was breaking out right here, right? You do not want to see 50 and sell algo, right? Ideally, you want to see something more. If you see this, that means something is off. And this 356, indeed somebody wants to short it there. That's why that it suggests. Now, by looking at Mbox, right, blindly here, you wouldn't short it. You would short after it goes below this area, 272 or something. But looking at this buying and no selling here, you wouldn't even short there also either. So that means there is no trading, ideally, based on Mboxwave, unless if you know the importance of this level and you see this divergence, then you know that sellers will defend this area at least back to 272. So it is not clear trade based on Mboxwave, right? Unless you know the levels, okay? Then what happened? Then it went down, right? It tested this low with not enough supply. See that? minus 18. And it wants to break down after this much buying. It wants to break down below with minus 18. No selling. Most likely it will bounce back up, right? So you can go long right here based on Mbox divergence. Based on my levels, you can't go long here. You can use this area to take a profit, not longs, okay? But based on Mbox, you can go long here, right? I rather wait for a short here than long, okay? So, which is, see, it's all about context, right? And then you use Mboxwave to justify, right? So instead of going long here, right, I would wait for a short here, if there is a divergence or anything else at that point, which is this, say 350 on the way up. This was a short here. Why? Because internals were diverging. See that? Here at the same level, first time up, AD was here. Second time up, close to it, it was way below zero line. So it was a bearish AD divergence. Now you can take a short also here. And then on the way up, see, if you look at it here, you have to be zoom in, if you look at here, when price was here, look at this imbalance. See that? Otherwise you would see the big buying like up to this point, it's really because it is trying to break out here, right? So but here you can see imbalance, right? That means it will give rights for a sellers to step in again, so based on 5 minutes, this was a short, okay? Now after that there is no trade, because it is just doing back and forth. By this time, it's stuck. So until it goes below this range, this box, or above, there is a trade. Otherwise there is no trade. Then you see these things. See, this time, look at this difference. First time when it was trying to break out here, look at this imbalance, right? That's why it was a short there. But second time, look at this. See, now it's changing. This candle, look at up buying, this is imbalance buying, see that? So these are all the things it's suggesting that buyers are still there, and then you see this breakout and this big selling buying coming in, right? So now you are ready to go long, either at the breakout if you want to based on Mbox, or you wait for a pullback, little pullback, you know. So that pullback you won't find it here, because the way it broke out with this much buying, you have to use the lower time frame to get into it, you know, which is right around here, you know, that you can go long, right here. See that SP double algo, and this change of behavior, see the buying amount of buying compared to this with MPS beads, right? Here you can go long at this, right? So which is this long, right? Then you take a profit based on wherever you want to, you know. If you have a levels, you can use your own levels, or you can use my levels, right? So here there was a profit taking idea, right? And now after this point onwards, the idea is, since it broke out above it, it has to hold above this area, right? This breakout area. If it does not, then sellers are back in business. Simple, contextually, okay, not based on Mbox. So here there was a nice buying going on at this point, you know. Looks like it's a full-blown bullish picture, right? By balance breakout, multiple X control dot, you know, and then 230, it's a good amount of delta, COB, see, good amount of buying, you know, this is bids are coming in, right? Everything looks good. So most likely those people who waited for a pullback, you know, they will try to go long here, not based on MBAX in general, but this is not the level to go long, you know. You already took that pullback, right? So but based on Mbox, there is no trade here, right? Because you are waiting for something to see, right? Then you see this is 185, minus 185, right? So there is no long setup here, right? On the way up also. But if you are smart enough, right, then you can draw a line here that this area where buyers stepped in, now price sliced through it. They were supposed to hold it, right? But they failed to do so. And when price pop back up here, you can see pullback algo and 51 delta, right? That was your short. At the same time, ES also has a short, you know, around here, right into this area. So combination, confluence among two indexes with this divergence and pullback, you can take a short here, at least back to this low, you know, considering this supply, you know, all this thing. But it was a weak supply. It was a good supply, but less selling. See that? So technically, this was on the way back up. You can't just short it here, you know, and breakdown short. Don't look for a breakdown short because selling was not good enough, you know. But you can always take a pullback short. I mean, this, when it was going higher, you can see this 51 and pullback. You can take a short at least back to this low, you know. But you have to prepare your scenarios ahead of it, you know. And then there is no trade technically, you know. After 11 this time onwards, you know, there is no trade, because by the time you know, neither side is in control. See that here, seller tried it, they failed, buyers tried it, they failed. So at least at this price activity, it's telling you it's a garbage price action going on, you know. So you rather not trade until late noon. That is what I said personally in my Discord, that do not bother to trade after 11, you know. Most likely price will chop around, so come back in the late noon after 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, and then decide at that point. So I'm not going to discuss all these things right here, but there was one very good trade later on, you know, which was the breakout of morning range, which is above this area, you know. So these are the trades, you know, this arrow ones, these are the trades, you know. But there is nothing else. However, in 1 minute there was one trade later on, which is this, you know, breakout above this balance, right, with X control, double algo. So look at this, see that, what time it was, 10:20, this one I covered it, right, already, 10:28 one, which was this one, right. So it was good one. After that it's all garbage, you know, literally. So there is no point me discussing all these things, because day was garbage, right. Now yes, after this breakout, you know, after this breakout, you know, above entire morning range, yes, when it pulled back, you cannot take a long setup at the breakout regardless of Mboxwave, you know. Why? Because overall sellers are active, okay, and the day was choppy, it is unlikely it's going to break out with this poor internals. So break out and like go. You rather, if you want to go long, because by looking at this price activity, it suggests that buyers are there now, right? So wait for a pullback, which is this pullback. You can go long here. But you have to line up with ES, which is this. Then you can go long. Otherwise, don't bother to trade after that onwards. That is what I would suggest, and that is what I said in my Discord also. And that be all for today.